Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels. Occasionally, I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hey, everybody, how are you all doing? Sorry I've missed the last couple days. Let's check out some scary haunted dolls that have been caught moving. Get my headphones on, and let's check this out right now.
It's every kid's dream, right? Their favorite toys spring to life and play with them as if they were real friends. I mean, who doesn't recall giving a voice and or personality to a cherished teddy bear or action figure? Buzz and Woody brought this idea to vividly animated life back when they first hit the big screen, and have been doing pretty well for themselves ever since. But the dolls we'll be discussing today aren't from
I never saw any of the Toy Story movies.
These little porcelain people
when I was a little kid, though, I remember playing with G.I. Joes and stuff like that.
And sometimes cause a lot more trouble than you'd think. Hello, horror heads, and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host, Keegan Hughes, and today we're going to count down the top 5 scary haunted dolls caught moving. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more malcontent marionettes. And if you like these, don't forget to stop off at the Maple Drip Inn and check out their room of 1,000 dolls. Great place to end a relationship, I heard. Alright, let's get started. Kicking us up at number 5, we've got the Haunted Bionicle.
Never heard of this.
There's nothing up here. What the crap? There's nothing in here either.
Okay, so we're starting this one off a little unconventionally. I'm sure thousands of lonely little lads out there will yell, "They're not dolls, they're action figures." I know, I get it. But for the sake of outrageous creepitude, let's investigate the case of the moving Bionicle. Reddit user Bleach Pong shared a video of his brothers watching TV. If you can look past the extremely dusty Xbox, you'll see that they're reacting to some noise.
What's the Bionicle? Is that like Transformers or something like that? Because I've never heard of that toy.
Noises. Apparently, ever since they moved into their relatively new home, they'd heard strange noises at odd times. Most commonly,
it looks kind of like a
someone
Transformer
sifting through their
like
tubs of Lego. This would happen most often when nobody was around to be making said racket. Over the years, this strange noise would consistently weird the brothers out. In fact, it happened so often that it became a bit of a legend between them and their friends. So, them considering this particular event isn't too outrageous to consider. Back to the dusty Xbox room, the two brothers hear a noise, plastic blocks being disturbed from their resting place. So they follow it to a long closet full of old toys. Quite an impressive collection of Lego, Transformers, Bionicles, and more. They open the door, flick on the lights, and film the inside of the room. Now, they don't notice it in the recording, but something very strange is going on in the back of the closet. Let's get that clip again.
There's nothing up here.
Yeah, let's see it.
Did you see that? The big custom
No.
Bionicle moving its head? Well, it's not supposed to do that. Like I said before, they didn't really see it happen when recording, but upon reviewing the footage, they realized the chilling movement. After sharing it with the internet, they claimed that the neck joint was stiff and shouldn't be moving without outside influence. It also seems unlikely that pests like mice or rats could be causing all this ruckus, let alone moving just the head on a toy. So what do you think? Is the toy moving on its own, or is it
Nope.
entirely?
That one was a
Sneaking in
fail.
Number 4, we've got Annabelle.
I don't think I saw it.
Classic. How can you make a haunted dolls list without
Annabelle.
including Annabelle? It simply isn't done. The now Hollywood famous doll held captive at Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult museum for decades. Annabelle has been caught moving many times,
So Raggedy
even when
Ann
behind the
doll.
glass at the museum. There's just no stopping this evil plaything. She was first documented after being gifted to a young nursing student named Donna. Donna would treat the doll like a little girl even after odd things started happening. At first, Annabelle would just move around when no one was looking. Her arms and legs would cross and uncross, or her head would tilt at odd angles. If Donna and her roommate were gone long enough, they might even come back to find Annabelle in a totally new area. What really set their fear response off, though, was when Annabelle left pencil-written notes for them throughout the apartment. Messages like, "Help us," could be discovered in different parts of their home. The true terror began, though, when
Sounds
her
to me like
boyfriend came
someone
to visit.
screwing with them.
Lou, who was dating Donna's roommate at the time, would come over from time to time. One night, after crashing on the couch like a respectable young man, Lou experienced a very strange occurrence. He felt the doll creeping up his leg. Terrified, he sat up and saw it attempting to strangle him. After this, he blacked out, and when he awoke, he just assumed it was a nightmare. The terror didn't end there, though. Soon after, Annabelle snuck up on Lou and cut him, leaving distinct claw marks on his chest. The injuries healed over almost immediately, though, leading people to think either one of two things. Either Lou was making it up, or Annabelle had mysterious powers. After these
Well,
violent
if he had
incidents,
claw
however,
marks
Donna
on
had
his
to
chest-
believe the doll was up to something. She called the
If he had claw marks on his chest, it wasn't the doll because it has no nails. It has just like a couple of fists there. So it was something else. Moving maybe through the doll.
priest, who then encouraged her to contact the Warrens, and the rest is history. Laughing his way in at number 3, we've got Tickle Me Elmo. You could probably write a whole book on all the times Tickle Me Elmo.
Of course,
has
that's
acted
probably
strange.
what
There's something about
most of
bringing
these
a
are supposed to
giggling,
be.
wiggling, red fur-covered robot.
It's
to your
a
house. It doesn't sit
evil
right with
spirit
me. First
taking
introduced
over
in
the
90s, Tickle Me Elmo was
body
a
of
hot
a
ticket
doll.
item for families everywhere. Once this little red rapscallion made it into millions of homes, weird stories started cropping up. Folks would report that he was found in places that he should not have been able to access, or worse, moving without batteries in. The giggles and chuckles
I never
of the
heard
furry
any of
freak
those
were heard
stories,
throughout
and I
the
remember
night,
that
even
toy.
when it was left in a very much off position. So, what was happening? Well, in all likelihood, it was people imagining things or the electronics of a relatively primitive toy malfunctioning. But that didn't stop people from telling tall tales of the ticklish
Or the
tormented
battery,
tots. Eventually, though,
like
the
that,
urban legends calmed down and
going
the Tickle Me
dead.
Elmo stories died out. That is, until a new edition was released. Back in 2008, there was a new version of the interactive toy hitting the shelves. Called Elmo Knows Your Name, this was a Tickle Me Elmo for the PC era. By connecting it to a personal computer, you could program the toy to repeat phrases and remember names. A novel idea for sure, but it became disturbing fast. Melissa Bowman, a mother who had bought her son the toy, claimed that it started to say something particularly disturbing. In a sing-song voice, Elmo started saying, "Kill James, kill James." Not exactly what you
come
want to
on,
hear from a
bullshit.
children's toy, especially when your kid's name is James. Young James even started repeating what Elmo was saying. Yikes. Melissa wasn't sure how the toy learned how to do that. Whether it was a prank or some faulty programming, we may never know. Coming in at number 2, we've got Robert the Doll. Another classic. Robert the Doll also
Yeah, I
managed
did a
to
video on
inspire a
Robert
major
the Doll.
doll-based horror movie franchise, but because they don't share the same name, he doesn't enjoy as much fame as Annabelle. The life-size figure was the inspiration for Chucky, star of the Child's Play series. Robert was originally given to
Just
Robert
drop
Eugene
kick that
Gene
little
Otto as a
bastard.
present when he was young. The details on who the doll came from are a little more fuzzy, though. Some say it was a gift from his grandfather, which doesn't seem to corroborate the whole evil, haunted bit. Others, however, claim that it came from an angry voodoo-practicing maid who wanted to get revenge on Gene and his family for some misdeeds against her. Robert the Doll has been seen changing expressions and moving around on his own over the years. Some also say that he moved around other things and planted voodoo figures throughout the house.
Looks
While
like
most dolls have an origin
made
story
out of
related to
cork
the
or
death of somebody
something.
close, this one seems to have taken to life without any such morbidity. Dressed as Gene and sharing his first name, the doll would often get blamed for things Gene did. Apparently, this is what unlocked its supernatural powers. People in the house would tell stories of overhearing Gene talking to Robert and Robert talking back. These days, Robert is
Not
kept
me.
at the East
He's not
Martello
talking about
Museum
me.
in Key West, Florida. Visitors will often complain of post-visit misfortunes after seeing Robert. Those who fail to respect him often find themselves getting into car accidents, breaking bones, losing jobs, and having marital problems. Jeez, Robert, just let the people live. And finally, at number 1, we've got Ruby. The last haunted doll we'll discuss today is less terrifying and more tragic. She's not malicious or mean-spirited. In fact, she's apparently very sweet, but the effects she imposes on people around her are very strange indeed. Passed down over generations, Ruby is an old family heirloom. Apparently, years ago, a young girl died while holding this very doll. After she passed away, the doll would be found in all sorts of places all over the house. Folks would leave it in the living room and later find it in the kitchen. Sometimes it might even sneak up
So
to
maybe the
bedroom.
little girl
In addition
spirit
to
went
moving
into the
around,
doll.
Ruby would also leave people feeling blue and sad and even nauseous. Headaches, allergic reactions, and exhaustion were also reported. For years, nobody knew what to do with the doll. It was creepy. Nobody wanted it roaming around their house, making weird noise and causing people to feel ill. However, it did have the spirit of a deceased family member attached to it. So the family would pass it from member to member. Each person would deal with the weirdness for a little while, and then Ruby would move along to her next new home. After spending time in different family homes for years, Ruby made it to the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and Occult. It was here that the ill effects seemed to subside, with sickness and headaches happening less often. These were replaced with much different feelings. Some visitors even reported familiar maternal
See, in a situation
feelings,
like
even
that,
rocking Ruby back and
I
forth
wish
like
the
a real
person
child. In fact,
find
Ruby
peace,
often
you
brings
know?
people to tears with sudden, overwhelming affection. So the sweet little girl is still in there somewhere, looking to show people that she's not as evil as most make haunted dolls out to be. So, what did you think of the list?
Yeah.
Looking at your figurines and playthings differently now? Which doll would you be okay with letting into your home? Are there any other haunted dolls that you think should have made the
I'd let
list?
Ruby in.
Make sure you let me know down in the comments.
Well, that was from Top 5 Scary Videos. And it was Top 5 Scary Haunted Dolls Caught Moving. Let me know what you think about that. When I was a kid, now this isn't really a doll per se, but when I remember going to visit my grandparents' house in Utah when I was a little kid, and my aunt had it was kind of like a little ape, and it was on roller skates, and it had its hand out like this, and you'd put a coin in its hand, and the skates would move, and it would like scoot across the floor. I used to play with that thing all the time, and it was pretty big. I'm 5'8", and it probably stood a little bit above my knees. So I mean, it was a good sized little toy. I thought it was really cool. I wish I knew what happened to that. That thing would probably be worth a lot right now because I've never seen anything like it since. But yeah, it was like looked like a monkey. And it was on these little roller skates, and you'd put a coin in its hand. And it had like a little cutout in the hand, right here. You'd set the coin in there, and it would roller skate. It would move. It's pretty cool. Now, how about a joke? A guy was driving down the road with his blonde girlfriend. He asked her to stick her head out the window and tell him if the blinker was working or not. She said, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, #MeanGene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.